Hello, ladies. It is Tiffany of Clarity, Confidence, Courage, Women's Empowerment, and I'm coming to you today to talk about how to not internalize negative, toxic criticism. Ladies, I'm not talking about constructive feedback. I'm talking about that criticism that comes from a place of pure negativity and self-loathing. You know those people, they're always negative, they have nothing nice to say, and all they want to do was wake up and find someone to attack and criticize. Now, before we jump into this content, please share, like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel so that you can get more content every single week on how to up-level your life and live a life that you love. Now, let's jump into this content. So ladies, again, when I talk about toxic negative criticism, I am not talking about constructive feedback. Constructive feedback is usually a situation where someone is giving you some feedback that can actually help you move forward. For example, if your manager gives you an evaluation and he or she may say, hey, you did really well on that XYZ project, but there are a couple things that I think could have made it even better. Here's what they are. A lot of times that's how constructive feedback is given. Or even if you have a friend or a family member who says, look, I love you, I care about you, but there's some things that I'm seeing that I feel like is detrimental to your health. And I really would like to talk about it. That is the beginning of constructive feedback. It's someone who starts off telling you something positive, or at least tell you, hey, I'm telling you this because I love you. It's coming from a place of love. 9 times out of 10, that's constructive feedback. It's feedback to really help make you better, to help make you move forward faster. Now, let's talk about toxic negative criticism. Ladies, trust me, I have had toxic negative criticism a good portion of my life. And contrary to what most people believe as far as toxic negative criticism, it didn't come from the outside world. It didn't come from like me being bullied at school or, teachers or people out in the world. A lot of times it came from my own family. Yes, family members who constantly criticized me. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably can relate. And a lot of the women that I coach say the exact same thing. The toxic negative criticism that they got most of their lives or that they paid attention to came from close family or friends. You see, the reason, ladies, is because a lot of times we listen to the people that we're surrounded by the most, which is our family. So we allow ourselves to be vulnerable to those people because we grew up with them and we feel like, well, we can trust them because we've been around them all of our lives. So they wouldn't put us in a situation, right, that would be negative or dangerous or detrimental to us. And when you allow yourself to be vulnerable to your family, to your friends, you also open yourself up to possibly get some negative energy in the form of giving you feedback or keeping you grounded or just giving my opinion, right? But unfortunately, sometimes it truly is toxic negative criticism. And a lot of times the women that I coach, they're like, Tiffany, I have been told this all my life. I've been fat shamed all my life. I've been told I'm not good enough all my life. I've been told that, I need to go ahead and get married or I need to go ahead and have children, for a long period of time by my mother, by my father, by my brother, by my cousin, by that uncle, by whoever in my family all of my life. Or I have been bullied. I have been bullied from family members all of my life and I can't get over it or I haven't moved past it. And that's the really detrimental effect of toxic negative criticism when it comes from childhood, from a family member, because a lot of times that family member may have died, they may have moved on, you may not even speak to them in your adulthood anymore. But that voice inside your head from way back when they used to say those negative, toxic, abusive things to you, it's still there. The criticism now is just that chatter in your mind of that you've taken from those experiences. So here are 3 things, ladies, that you can do now to stop toxic negative criticism. Of course, you can't go back in time, but these are the 3 things that you can do absolutely right now when dealing with toxic negative criticism and understanding how to not internalize it. So the first way to not internalize toxic criticism is to really ask yourself the question, is there anything in this comment that this person is saying to me that may be valuable, that I can actually use in a constructive manner? If, for example, someone is, saying that I'm fat or I'm overweight, well, let me ask myself, number one, is there any validity to anything in there they're saying? Is really underneath that possibly that I do need to look at my health, or that I do need to start taking care of myself more? Is there anything under that? If it's not, ladies, if it's just toxic criticism, toss it out. You are in control of what you allow into your mind. So again, ask yourself that question. Is there any value to what this person is saying to me? And if it is not, if there is zero value in it, toss it out. If there is some value, if there is some validity, take the part that you can use to become better and throw the rest away. Understanding that, look, this person actually underneath all that toxicity and negativity, something that they said sparked something in my mind that I can actually use. But the rest of what they said is just coming from a negative place, and I'm going to toss it out. The second thing that you can do, ladies, is recognize the fact that what people say to you is not a reflection of you. It is a reflection of them. So if someone is being nasty and negative and just truly throwing verbal darts at you, understand that they have been programmed and conditioned to believe certain things. And it is their programming and their conditioning from which that toxicity is coming from. Their words are not a reflection of you. Their words, their beliefs, their criticisms are a reflection of themselves. If they say you can't do something, it's because they don't believe they could do something, or they were told a long time ago that they couldn't do something. If they constantly fat shame you or say something about your weight, it's probably because deep inside they have issues or have had issues with their own weight or their own appearance and how they look. If they are, bullying you in some way, it is because someone bullied them. I heard someone say a long time ago, and I believe it to be true, hurt people hurt people. So when someone has been hurt deeply, they, instead of getting better, instead of getting counseling, instead of getting therapy, they use that pain to hurt someone else. So just understand, hurt people hurt people. And if someone is hurting you, it's a reflection of their own pain, not you. The third way to not internalize toxic criticism is to, ladies, write it out. Express your feelings about that experience. If someone criticizes you, whether it's in person or online, write it out. Let those emotions come out onto the page so that you have a place to express yourself. Don't keep it in, because if you keep it in, you will internalize it and it will become a part of your DNA. It will get into your cells and it will affect your psyche. Write it out. Even if it's something that happened years ago. Years ago. It could be something that happened when you were 5, where you were bullied or someone said something to you that hurt your feelings. In this present moment, if it's something that you are thinking about right now, write it out. Get it on paper. And don't type it. Use your pen and paper and physically write it out. Get all those emotions out. Get it on paper. And what I like to tell my clients in a one-on-one program, a ceremony that we do, I'll tell them to write out certain things and say, after they get all that pain and all that frustration out, they can even cry if they want to. Get very emotional about it. Write it out and then take that sheet of paper and tear it up or burn it or, dip it in water and just let the water drown it. Because the idea is that is no longer you. You can even write out, this has nothing to do with me. This was this person. This was their pain. And I divorced myself from this emotion. I am allowing myself to disconnect from this emotion and this internalized pain that I've been carrying for so long. And then I tell them to burn it. Let it go. Get it out of you. Sometimes you can't move on to the next phase of your life because you're holding on to so much pain that someone else caused you from years ago. So you must be willing to release it and allow it to leave your body, allow it to leave your mind, allow it to leave your soul. So ladies, those are 3 ways that you can not internalize toxic criticism and really just eliminate it from your life so that you can move on and truly create a life that you love. Because the truth is, ladies, you will be criticized. The bigger and better that you get, the more successful you get, the more in love with your own life you get. People will talk, people will say things about you. But what happens if you learn to not react and learn to not internalize it? You become a better person for it. You understand how to create a shield around you and not allow that stuff to come in. People will say what they want to say, and that's completely fine. Your job is to stay in your joy, stay in your happy place, and continue to live a brilliant, magnificent life. Now, if you're in a space where you're like, Tiffany, that's all well and good, but I've got some challenges that can't be solved in one video, then ladies, definitely take advantage of my free coaching strategy session. The link is down low in the description. Get on my calendar. It's absolutely free, and we'll chit chat. We'll talk about where you are, where you want to be, and possibly the next steps to get there. All right, ladies, I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, make sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.